Alright folks, I'm not too good at this video thing, but welcome. If you're watching this video, it means you probably have heard about my dream and my vision of ministry in Ukraine. Long story short, I grew up as an orphan, was adopted, and now I have the opportunity to serve as a missionary in the Ukraine. My main focus now will be working with orphans and orphan graduates. As many of you may have heard and probably not have heard, but there's a saying that goes, orphans make orphans. What I mean by this is a lot of orphans that come through the system that don't have adults who are responsible, adults who have a family value, adults who love them or care for them. They don't have those kinds of people pouring into them to teach them what it's like to have a family, what it's like to live in the real world, what it's like to provide for themselves or for others, what it's like to be honest, what it's like to live a life that's honoring to God. Not many of those things are taught in the orphanage. As a result, you have kids who come out who have gotten used to the institutionalized system. Good night, I can't speak English anymore. And these kids, they don't know how to essentially live their life. And so what happens is they end up getting out to the real world, making kids, and those kids end up in the orphanage system, essentially creating a perpetual, non-stop orphans. And this is really sad. And my heart really goes out for the young men that come out of these orphanages, these young men who don't have a father figure, who may have never heard the gospel, these kids who need somebody who will not only be a father figure for them, or like an older brother who can come alongside of them, but somebody who can teach them some real life skills, somebody who can tell them about Christ, somebody who can point them to the gospel, help them to discover the love that God has for them, while also teaching them some very basic skills like what it means to care for themselves, what it means to provide for their family in the future. And one of my passions is I'm a professional diesel mechanic in my past life before I was called to the mission field, is to teach these kids how to work on cars, how to work with their hands, how to maybe weld and fabricate, so that they can then use those skills to get a job for themselves and provide for their future family. Or if maybe that's not their calling, let's say, but they will at least learn what it means to work hard, to have some, the idea of understanding that they have self-worth in Christ and that they can do things with their hands, that they're able to do things that they've been told they can't do. And so one of my dreams is to actually open up a shop where I will have these kids come and learn various, essentially industrial arts, if you will, and then to see if some of these kids have potential, teach them to get a job in that field. And if not, then use that time to build deep relationships, to be able to really disciple these men and really build that deep relationship with them so that I can walk alongside of them in their life to help them become the future leaders of the future generations, that they would then know how to have a family, be able to care for them, and be able to have a future that would glorify God, and that then they would be able to pour into other kids and people that may need that help and that support. Again, all of that I want to do with focus on the gospel, because we all know that the gospel has the power to change. The gospel has the power to save, because anyone who believes in Christ Jesus will be transformed and will become a new creation. And so that is a big focus of this project. Now here's some nitty-gritty details. The shop will be like a 3-bay garage with a loft area that could be used for a meeting room. The general cost right now, the basic numbers I can throw at you is just to get started, it's about $15,000 for the land and roughly $30,000 for the building. This doesn't include the future. Obviously, we'll have to get all the equipment and all this stuff to get the shop up and running. That could be another, we'll say $30,000, $40,000. Again, if you're watching this video and you would like to be a part of this life transforming ministry for these future men of the future generations, you can contact me. There's many ways you could do it. You can email me at vladimir4mn@gmail.com, or you can send a message to whoever you get this video from. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. God bless. Hold on a second. My teleprompter is telling me something. Or you can, oh my